In 2012, the stories about opioid use were frightening. Even more frightening for us in Cott County was the realization that those stories were our stories. This opioid problem was not just close to home. It was in our living rooms, our kids' bedrooms, and hiding out in our basements. Well, we worried about it. We whispered to each other. But then some people in our church began to say it out loud. We need to do something. Our church's vision says we're a community of faith that will love, grow, reach, and serve. So how can we make that vision become a reality in this crisis? The death of 2 young people connected to our congregation made it clear. Simply bringing a casserole would no longer be enough. Increasing awareness was our first goal. We started with a series of Lenten suppers that focused on marginalized persons. A panel of speakers helped us understand addiction and its effect on the brain. We also heard from one of our own members who told the story of her struggle overcoming alcoholism. Not long after that, a local AA group asked to hold meetings in our building. The church council was hesitant at first, but we stayed at the table long enough to answer everyone's concerns. And finally, we agreed for the group to come. Our relationship with AA proved to be positive in every way, but the opioid crisis continued to intensify. Reverend James Bennington, our pastor at the time, felt we needed to start a recovery ministry. So he invited all of us who were interested to come to a meeting, and on a Sunday afternoon, 60 people showed up. "Why are you here?" was the first question we asked. Every one of us had a story to tell. "How shall we start?" was the second question. We decided that we needed to start by exploring our own feelings about addiction. So first on our agenda was to do a 12-step study together. We soon learned that those 12 steps were exactly what we believed the message of the gospel to be. And we learned that addiction to compulsive behaviors, not just substance misuse, was something with which we all struggled. Book studies, seminars, and site visits helped us to see the broader picture. Suicide prevention, Narcan use, treatment options, and harm reduction were topics we studied. We also learned about family dynamics and childhood trauma, and we learned about small group facilitation. After 2 years of preparation, we decided to align our ministry with Celebrate Recovery. This gave us a blueprint and support from an established program. Teamwork was essential for us too. I was hired as director to focus on the effort. Work groups were formed for hospitality, child care, security, food preparation, music, and small group leadership. Because we were United Methodists, we were able to receive a grant from the Holston Conference Foundation. Now, after 4 years of ministry, I'm hopeful that our local church will include this ministry in the annual budget. Publicity was important too. So as a director, I spoke to local radio audiences, civic groups, other recovery groups, rehab programs, and drug court. I learned that our strongest roadblock would be stigma. I felt education was the solution. So starting with small groups in our congregation and working outward into our community, team members talked to anyone who would listen about the true nature of the disease. It took a while for the ministry to become part of the community. But today, with the help of our current pastor, Reverend David Woody, and with a vibrant music team, a dedicated group of volunteers, this ministry is on solid ground. We're committed to sharing what we've learned with anybody interested in starting their own recovery ministry. Our next goal is to be intentional about prevention. With that in mind, we hope to offer supportive care for children, especially those affected by substance misuse. I am deeply grateful for this experience. Giving thanks to God, I am one who can say that my life has been changed. We firmly believe that we're about the Lord's work. acknowledging that we stand on common ground regardless of the source of our addiction. It's no longer us and them. It's just simply us.